just want to tell you the economy is doing fantastically well. We have people over in China right now. We're negotiating with China. We'll see what happens. We're either going to make a great deal or we're not going to make a deal at all. But a lot of great things are happening, and including with China. Our country has gone way up in terms of its differential. We're the #1 economy in the world. It's picked up tremendously in the last 3 years since I've been here. So a lot of great things are happening. A lot of really great things are happening. The economy is through the roof. I guess we'll hopefully get good decisions from certain branches of government. We'll see what happens. But we have a lot of good things happening. We were just speaking with the Department of Commerce, and we have interest in our country like we've never had before. So the talks are moving very well with China, but they were often with China, but China always makes a new deal at the end, or it seems to. We're taking in billions and billions of dollars from China in the form of tariffs. Our people are not paying for it. China reduced their currency, they devalued their currency, and they're pumping money into the system in order to pay for it. They had the worst year in 27 years. They've had a terrible year because of the tariffs. A lot of companies are moving out of China. You've never seen this before. The United States is doing phenomenally well, and we're taking in tens of billions of dollars from China. We're giving some money to our farmers who have been really targeted by China, to do a number of them, and because they like me, the farmers like me, and I love the farmers. And I will say that the farmers are very grateful. The most they've ever spent on agricultural product is $16 billion. So when they pulled out, I took just a small part of the money that China's paying us, and I gave it toward the farmers, and the farmers are very happy. The Fed moved, in my opinion, far too early and far too severely. It puts me at a somewhat of a disadvantage. Fortunately, I've made the economy so strong that nothing's going to stop us. But the Fed could have made it a lot easier. I would like to see a large cut, and I'd like to see immediately the quantitative tightening stop. It should be stopped. For them to have done quantitative tightening and also higher interest rates simultaneously, I think was a big mistake. I also think that had they not done it, as good as we've done, we've set a record, as you will tell, as you will say, in the stock market. We have the all-time high in the history of the stock market. I think I would have been 10,000 points higher, and I think we would have been in the fours with GDP. President Obama had 0 interest rates. We have normalized interest rates. With 0 interest rates, anything happens, and yet we still blew his economy away. Well, I think the biggest problem to a trade deal is China would love to wait and just hope. They hope. It's not going to happen, I hope. But they would just love if I got defeated, so they could deal with somebody like Elizabeth Warren or Sleepy Joe Biden or any of these people, because then they'd be allowed and able to continue to rip off our country like they've been doing for the last 30 years. China has been taking out hundreds of billions of dollars a year with our country. And now what I've done with the tariffs is, #1, they had the worst year they've had in 27 years. Yesterday's Wall Street Journal, the worst year in 27 years. Companies are leaving China by the thousands, and their prices are coming down. And I will tell you this, China is dying to make a deal with me. But whether or not I'll do it, it's up to me. It's not up to them. What? Well, I think China's willing to give up a lot, but that doesn't mean I'm willing to accept it. I think if China had their wish, they'd wait till after the election, they'll pray that Trump loses, and then they'll make a deal with a stiff, somebody that doesn't know what they're doing, like Obama and Biden, like all of the presidents before. because what they've done is they've just picked our pockets as a nation. That's not happening with Trump. That's okay. Well, I think if that's the case, I'd be shocked. But if that's the case, they're fighting against their people, because the African-American people have been calling the White House. They have never been so happy as what a president has done. Not only the lowest unemployment in history for African-Americans, not only opportunity zones for really the biggest beneficiary, the inner cities, and not only criminal justice reform, but they're so happy that I pointed out the corrupt politics of Baltimore. It's filthy dirty, it's so horrible, and they are happy as hell. So you may have a couple of politicians boycott, but it's all a fix. It's all a fix. The fact is, African-American people love the job I'm doing because I'm working for them. I'm not working for the politicians. Oh, absolutely. What he should do, what Elijah Cummings should do, is he should take his oversight committee, bring them down to Baltimore, and invest all of it and really study the billions and billions of dollars that's been stolen. It's been wasted, it's been stolen. They ought to take that beautiful waste of an oversight committee, go down to Baltimore and other Democratic-run cities, and take a look, see if you can find the billions that have been stolen. My relationship with Kim Jong-un is a very good one, as I'm sure you've seen. We'll see what happens. I can't tell you what's going to happen. I know one thing, that if my opponent was president, if she won, you would be in a major war right now with North Korea. And we are nowhere close. So we'll see. I have a good relationship with him. I like him. He likes me. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with China. I think we'll do very well with China. We're already doing very well with China. China's had the worst year they've had in 27 years, and we're having the best year we've ever had. The stock market just hit an all-time high. We're doing the best we've ever done. All three indexes, if you look at it, indices or indexes, depending on what you want to call, all three are hitting brand new highs. We're doing the best we've ever done as a country, and I'm very happy about it. Unemployment, the best numbers we've ever had. By the way, African-American unemployment, the lowest in history.
I want to ask you about that.
Criminal justice reform, Obama couldn't do it. I got it done. He could not do it. He didn't even come close. That's great for the African-American population, who's very thankful about it. If you look at all of the opportunity zones, they're inner city opportunity zones, almost all of them. African-American. The African-American people don't listen to fake news. They know what's going on.
Mr. President, you know that Elijah Cummings is not the mayor of Baltimore, so why are you so angry at him about the city?
Elijah
is it because
Cummings,
he's subpoenaing your officials?
I'm not angry. I'm not angry. I'm just telling you the
sound
facts.
Angry.
I'm not angry at anybody. I'm just saying Elijah Cummings has been there for 26 years. He's really, by far, the highest ranking politician. He's seen these mayors get thrown out, thrown out, thrown out. They're all friends of his. The corruption and the graft in Baltimore is probably the greatest in our country, or one of them. Wait. Now, he's in charge of an oversight committee. All I'm saying is take your oversight committee and go to Baltimore. You'll learn a lot.
Mr. President.
Say it.
What are you going to do on your trip to Poland, and are you going anywhere else?
Well, we have a very good relationship with Poland. I have really a very good relationship with most countries that the news doesn't like talking about. But I have a very good relationship with Poland, and we've been invited by the leadership of Poland, and I look forward to it. I like the people. I gave a speech in Poland, which I know you don't like to say, but it was considered to be a great speech. And the reason is that I really feel strongly. I think they're great people.
Are you going somewhere else on that Poland trip?
We're looking at it. We may go to Denmark. We're looking at it.
What place do you be an acting role at DNI?
What?
Sue Gorman, do you welcome her to be in the acting role at CNN?
We haven't named the acting yet, but we're very happy with the fact that Dan Coates, I like Dan, he's a friend of mine. I mean, I think he's a terrific person. I like him a lot. And there really wasn't conflict. I think it was confusion more than conflict. Dan made statements and they were a little confused. But that was not conflict. Dan is a friend of mine. He's a good man. But I think that John Ratcliffe is going to do an incredible job if he gets approved. He's got to get approved. But I think he'll do a great job. I hope he gets approved. I think we need somebody like that there. We need somebody strong that can really rein it in because, as I think you've all learned, the intelligence agencies have run amok. They've run amok.
On General Height,
you've done more for African Americans than any other president. A new poll, Quinnipiac poll, came out today saying that 80% of blacks think you're racist.
You know why? Because the fake news doesn't report it properly. People like you. Fake news does not report it properly. If the news reported it popularly, the right way,
what's proper?
like instead of a statement like you just made, if the news reported it properly, of all of the things I've done for African Americans, of all of the things that like criminal justice reform,
And we talked
like
about that.
opportunity zones,
We
like
talked
all
about that.
I
I'm
think I
asking
do.
about the
I think I
poll.
do very well with the African Americans, and I think I'm doing very well right now. And frankly, if I didn't do very well, relatively speaking, as a Republican, I mean, we should be way, way over 50%. But if you look back over 40 years, it just doesn't work that way. If I didn't do well, relatively speaking, I wouldn't be president right now. But if you look at what I've done for African Americans, it's more than almost all presidents.
General Height,
Trade talks with Brazil. What is the U.S. goal in trade talks with Brazil?
Well, we have a good relationship with the president of Brazil, and I'm sure we'll be successful in trade talks. We'll have them. And you're just telling me his son was appointed ambassador. I think that's a great appointment because I know his son. I think he's really competent, just like his father. He reminds me of his father, and I like his father. And I think it's a great appointment.
should the accuser of General Height be allowed to testify publicly?
Well, I'm going to leave that up to the Senate. I am a fan of General Height. We're going to have to see how it all turns out. But I know he's been accused, and he's saying it's a false accusation.
Should she be allowed
but
to have
I will
a say?
leave it up. I hear they did an extensive report, very big, very important, and I will leave that up to the senators. They're very capable people. That includes Democrats and Republicans.
President Xi of China recently. What would you say to him that right now China's economy is not doing that great?
You have to speak differently. You have a little. Go ahead. Speak up.
Yes. Have you talked to President Xi of China recently?
Yes.
What would you say to him right now China's economy is not doing great?
I would say that his economy is not doing well, China, but I like him a lot. That's what I say to him.
The President.
Do you have any evidence